The obesity drug boom created one of the largest manufacturing bottlenecks in modern pharma. Blockbuster drugs like Semaglutide and Tirzepatide are peptide drugs, and they are extremely difficult to manufacture at scale. Unlike small molecules, peptide drugs require complex solid-phase peptide synthesis (SPPS), massive purification systems, and specialized GMP facilities. Because of this, only a handful of manufacturers globally can actually supply them. And these companies are quietly sitting behind the $100 billion obesity drug market. 1. Bachem, the hidden king of GLP-1 manufacturing. Bachem is arguably the most important peptide manufacturer in the world. Why it matters: supplies peptide APIs for multiple approved drugs. Strategic partner of Novo Nordisk, expanding massive peptide plants in Switzerland and the US. The company recently invested hundreds of millions into peptide capacity specifically because of GLP-1 demand. Without Bachem, scaling drugs like Semaglutide would be far slower. 2. PolyPeptide Group, the global peptide network. PolyPeptide operates 6 GMP peptide facilities worldwide. Strengths: global redundancy, commercial-scale peptide synthesis, decades of peptide API experience. They manufacture multiple commercial peptide drugs. The firm is positioning itself heavily for next-generation obesity peptides. 3. AmbioPharm, a high-volume peptide factory. AmbioPharm is known for large-scale peptide manufacturing. Key advantages: facilities in US and China, strong cost competitiveness, large reactor capacity. This makes them attractive for biosimilar peptides and high-volume APIs. 4. Corden Pharma, the fast-growing peptide CDMO. Corden Pharma has aggressively expanded peptide capacity. They manufacture APIs for metabolic drugs, oncology peptides, and peptide conjugates. They recently announced major peptide expansion investments to capture the GLP-1 wave. Lonza, the CDMO giant entering peptides. Lonza dominates biologics manufacturing, but peptides are becoming a strategic area. They provide peptide development, GMP manufacturing, and global clinical supply. Their infrastructure gives them huge scale advantages. 6. WuXi AppTec, China's peptide powerhouse. WuXi built one of the largest peptide manufacturing platforms in Asia. Capabilities include peptide APIs, oligonucleotides, peptide conjugates. Many biotech startups rely on WuXi to move peptides from discovery to clinic quickly. 7. CPC Scientific, the advanced peptide specialist. CPC Scientific focuses on peptide drug conjugates, oligonucleotide conjugates, and complex peptide modifications. These technologies are critical for next-generation peptide therapeutics. Why only a few companies can do this? Peptide manufacturing is deceptively hard. Challenges include chemical complexity. Peptides can have 30 to 80 amino acids, each requiring precise synthesis, purification bottlenecks. Large peptides require multiple chromatography steps, high-end purification systems, massive solvent usage. Peptide synthesis requires huge volumes of solvents and reagents, creating engineering challenges. Regulatory requirements for drug APIs, strict GMP validation, FDA inspections, batch traceability. Why this matters for investors? The real bottleneck in the obesity drug boom is manufacturing capacity. Demand for GLP-1 drugs from companies like Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly is so high that factories are expanding globally. CDMOs are signing long-term contracts and peptide supply chains are tightening. In other words, the real winners may not be the drug companies. They may be the manufacturers behind them. The next wave, even bigger peptides. Next-generation obesity drugs are even more complex. Triple agonists, peptide antibody conjugates, long-acting depot peptides. Examples include retatrutide and cagrilintide. These will require even larger peptide manufacturing capacity. The big strategic insight: the obesity drug revolution is not just a drug discovery story, it is also a manufacturing arms race. And the companies building that capacity today may quietly control one of the most valuable supply chains in pharma.